Hey guys, it's Danny, and in this video, I wanted to speak to those of you who are thinking about entering the programming space or learning how to program with the ultimate goal of becoming a software engineer, and ultimately why that is probably the best decision you can make heading into 2025. And just what we're going to do is we're just simply going to look at the data and the statistics and do some actual live research to hopefully convince you guys that I'm not faking these numbers, but that these numbers are actually real and that they do indeed support the fact that learning how to program in any kind of language, but in particular the Python programming language, can be life-changing. Just why is it life-changing, and why do I use that word? Well, because it changed my life as somebody who was a self-taught programmer. It has taken me to heights and areas that I could have never dreamed of, all because I made the simple choice to go ahead and begin to learn. And honestly, that's what this video is designed to do, just to get you guys and give you guys a simple nudge and get you guys excited and to make that ultimate decision to just start learning a new skill that has the potential to change your life. And so, well, where do we want to begin? Well, the first place that I want to begin actually is the end goal, right? Whenever we're learning a new skill, or in particular in this context, if you are learning how to program, odds are you are going to want to become some kind of developer or some kind of software engineer to be able to make a lucrative, crazy salary. Now, the dirty little secret is that starting off, you actually don't make anywhere near the amount that you'll see advertised on LinkedIn, but the average starting salary is pretty good and comfortable to live on here in the continental US. And so let's just go ahead and do some research. And so on my computer screen right here, and you guys should be able to see this on your screen right now. Let me go ahead and put my glasses on. I just simply did a search here for Python developer in the United States. Now, the first thing you're going to notice here is that there's about 2,300 results that come up instantly, right? And at the time I'm filming this, and you can even see my little calendar here in the bottom right, it's the day after Christmas. And so generally a lot of companies aren't hiring a ton at the moment, simply because, well, nobody's around in corporate America at the end of the year. If any of you guys have a white collar job, you should be able to figure that out pretty easily. But if you guys just look, there's just so many different options here for Python developer, right? We have Python engineer here based in Chicago. We'll have a Python developer based in New York, right? Bonus backend Python +1 up to 350,000. And so hopefully you guys can see that there are a ton of opportunities out there for those who are desiring to get a coding job. Now, just to be a bit more general, let's say Python wasn't your language of choice and you wanted to learn something like C++ or Java, JavaScript to go more on the front end side. Well, if you just simply do a search for software engineer, let's go ahead and see what comes up here. And boom, our results just absolutely explode here to over 100,000 results here in the United States, right? Applications engineer, cleared Kubernetes engineer, senior Android developer, right? The list just goes on and on and on. If we just take a look at some of these salaries, right? Starting 130, scrolling down here for an infrastructure engineer, bit different from a traditional software engineer, but nonetheless, they make between 180 to 250,000. Web developer, 100 to 110,000. Senior software engineer in C++ between 110 and 160. And hopefully you guys can see that just doing this simple exercise, right? Quantitative developer, 200,000. You can see just by simply doing this simple search here that there is no shortage of software engineers or roles that require some form of coding ability. In my current role, right, I'm a senior data scientist at my fintech company, also a machine learning engineer, but also a backend engineer. For those of you who are in a startup currently, you'll know that startups and generally employees that work in startups wear a lot of different hats. But if we were just to go ahead and look at the data scientist industry, look, another 5,000 results, right? If we go ahead and look at some of their salaries, right, between 80 and 130, starting at 200,000, between 136 and 170, and the list goes on, 300 to 400,000. yeah, 141 to 211,000 at Grubhub. And so hopefully you guys can see that really any role that requires you to program a lot is going to pay you pretty well. And actually on my course website at nextlevelcodingacademy.com, I do have some statistics on that website that actually show that between the years 2022 and 2032, according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the growth rate of software engineers, and rather the growth rate of the software engineering market in the United States, is expected to increase by something like 25%. On top of that, I believe the beginning average salary across the US for software engineers or Python developers is about 137,000. I believe that was according to LinkedIn. I mean, the results just simply don't lie that if you want to make a good living in the 21st century, and as we just continue to just, bulldoze into the future, I think learning how to code is probably your safest bet to make a substantial living, and rather, at the very least, to make a living that you are going to be comfortable in. Now, for this next exercise, right, instead of just looking at these one-off salaries, right, at least we now see that the jobs are out there and that they are in demand. But now let's actually go ahead and take a look at some of these salaries, right? So let's just go ahead and say, I don't know, let's just look for a Python developer, right? We won't even specify between junior or senior. And I apologize if I'll have to cut the video right here. Glassdoor might make me sign in to view these results, but if they don't, that'll be great. Awesome. It didn't, right? So for Python developers, right, for all years of experience across all industries with over 2,100 salaries submitted, the pay range is between 99,000 and 147,000, with the median pay coming in at around $120,000 per year. Now, I mean, that's not too shabby, right? But if we go ahead and adjust our years of experience, like if we made it 4 to 6 years, you could just see how the upper end of this salary range just continues to increase, right? If you go between 7 and 9 years, right, we make between 108 and 189. Just for the sake of argument, let's go ahead and look at financial services, right? We're going to be between 127,000 and 207,000. And even if we were only in the industry 1 to 3 years, we can make anywhere between 110 and 176,000. That's not too shabby whatsoever. Now, let's just go ahead and broaden this up a bit. Let's go ahead and say software engineer. Let's just go ahead and see what our results yield for that. Again, similar comp, maybe slightly elevated across all years of experience instead of exclusively Python, right? In this sample, we have almost 670,000 salaries submitted. So I would agree with Glassdoor that they are very confident in these statistics. And if we just simply filter down to 1 to 3 years across all industries, we are between 115 and 197,000. But if we go ahead and look at the financial services industry in particular, which is the industry that I am in, you can see that the average salary is between 140 and $209,000. And I mean, again, the numbers just speak for themselves, and in my opinion, scream that learning how to code is probably the most surefire way to begin to build a life that you are not only comfortable with, but also a life that you can enjoy. And now, if any of you guys are thinking about going down that road, if you guys are just simply perusing and considering, and hopefully by this point are convinced that this is something you should do, I actually offer a software engineering in Python course on my website that I linked down in the description below of this video, whereby if you choose to buy our bundle, you'll also get access to one-on-one coaching with me, a self-taught programmer who knows what it's like to start from square one and who knows what it's like to go from not knowing how to program at all to securing a job, working full-time and doing nothing but coding every day. And so I'll link down in the description below a link to our website. I have a testimonial video on there that sort of covers everything in way more detail, but I just want to make this sort of laid back video to show you guys that software engineers and those who know a programming language and those who know the Python programming language even in particular are going to make a living that is comfortable and that is going to afford you to live a life that, if you guys are not making this much money, well, a life that you could quite literally dream of. And if you guys still have doubts, again, I just keep pointing back to the fact that I'm living proof that this is possible. And as the new year is rolling around right now, This is the day after Christmas that I'm filming this, right? Everyone's making their New Year's resolutions. I would just really, really encourage you guys that if you haven't decided to like actually do the work of learning a new programming language in the new year, I would highly, highly encourage you guys to do so. And I would motivate you guys to find, if not me as a source, or rather as a resource, that you guys would find something else that you can take your claim in and say, hey, this is the path I'm going to follow to ultimately help teach me this skill set. And so I think the numbers speak pretty loud and clear that this is something that can have the potential to be life-changing, and that there are people out there like me who are more than willing to help walk you guys through this process of becoming a Python developer or a software engineer who specializes in Python. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are interested in any of the other videos I have on the channel, I'll link them down in the description as well. But I will see you guys in the next one. Later.